talking about Cool Megan. What were we talking
But
about?
I think that
Cool
was
Megan.
a pretty superficial conversation. I don't think there was much deep thought there. Just that you liked her because she admitted that she did not like you when you first met her.
Well, yeah. Well, that's also the thing too. Is like with your friends. With your friends, it's well, not with your friends. You know, it's they obviously I met them through you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this whole social circle that we have right now, I've met all of them through you or your brother, and she's the one who has no problem being like, "Yeah, you were kind of a complete asshole,"
Yeah.
and she's not even, and it's not even taking it as
Yell at her.
come. Oh, she's going in the woods. Not even she's just being a dick about it. She's just being honest. Like that's the first time I've seen a little bit of like
Good job. That's why.
honesty with.
Yeah, that's why I like her and Sarah also. And I know you don't know Sarah as well, but she's very much the same way.
Yeah, but there's also a there's a way about going about it. Like there's a way you say it that and
without just being a dick.
Yeah, without just being a dick. Like that's what a lot of people have an issue with is I think she's doing something in the fountain. Have an issue about like us army guys sitting around talking shit. Like us talking shit and bagging on each other is usually like something that's witty or has an inner reference or just a little bit of a jab somewhere. You know, it's got a punchline in it that's funny.
It's always
It gets misconstrued when like somebody just thinks, oh, we're just trying to hurt each other's feelings. Like I'm just going to say mean things that to you and try to hurt your feelings. Like there's a huge difference there when you're having a discussion and when you're talking with people.
Well, right. I mean, there's a difference exactly between being an asshole and like giving a friend a good ribbing. And like the biggest part of it, I think, is that the other person is in on it. Like, you know, you're not just being a dick to someone just talking a bunch of shit on them. Like they're reciprocating and participating, and you're friends, and it's all in good fun, sort of thing. But yeah, a lot of people see that sort of stuff and they think that you're just being an asshole, or like they just start acting like an asshole because they think that's how it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Because like we used to run into, that's how we. In a weird way, when you're sitting around not doing anything, that's how we bettered soldiers, like in your platoon, within your platoon, your team, or squad, or something like that. And that was like picking at each other, like always picking at each other because just to see if there's any little cracks, or if you got a little bit of feelings in there, you know what I mean? Oh, a little bit of feelings in there, you know? You got to see where people are weak at.
Well, and I mean, it is also a way, too, though, like, in that same sense, it is kind of a way of, like when it's done amongst friends, and it's not done in a malicious, like, hurtful way, necessarily, like, it is a way to kind of help the people around you get thicker skin and toughen up a little bit when it comes to, like, the things people say, because you're always going to run into assholes, you're always going to have to deal with someone that wants to talk shit on you and try and, like, hurt your feelings by talking shit. So it's like, you know, when your friends poke fun at each other all the time and, like, you're constantly picking on each other and, like, poking fun at those things and you know it's all in fun, like, it hurts a lot less when someone else, like, a stranger says the same thing, you know?
I guess it just hardens you the fuck up.
That's
I mean, that's all it is. I just can't stand... we can't be a cohesive, combat-oriented unit with... people who get their feelings hurt over small ass little non-PC comments or something like that. I can't.
Especially coming from someone that's supposed to be like a known friend.
And if
you know, and you should know their intentions.
And if you're so fragile, if you're so fragile, then the stuff that we might have to deal with in our line of work it wouldn't be good for your psyche, for your mental health at all. Like, I don't see how if you can't take, like, somebody calling you gay and not meaning it in a term, not in a, like, I don't know, that's a hard one to say, because people take a lot of offense to just saying the term gay, even though, same thing with, like, oh, that's gay, you know what I mean? Like, I grew up saying that, like, everybody I knew grew up saying that. We said it all the time in the Army. The gay guys would say that.
Yeah.
You're acting. They would even say, "Look, I'm gay, and you're acting pretty gay."
Yeah.
You know, and that was just. But those were our friends, and it was never anything derogatory. Like, you're a lesser person because you view the same sex, or however you.
I think it's just one of those things that it's like the spirit of the word has changed. You know,
Well, yeah.
I don't think that it had as much of, like vile meaning behind it.
Right.
You know.
Parents just don't. You can't have that type of feelings and then deal with the shit that we would have to deal with in our job description.
Right. You can't be soft and sensitive and go
Yeah, soft and sensitive, and then go to Haiti and just see, like, bloated, earthquake smashed bodies that's been sitting out in the streets for weeks because nobody can pick them up, or smelling them because it's a massive amount of, because they had nothing to do, so they had to burn them, and they just burn them in piles, and then that's just like, you know how people talk about all the ashes rained down from the concentration camps in the nearby towns and blah 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 blah. That's what was happening in Haiti. There was ash everywhere. We knew what it was from in certain areas that we were in, and it was just the really rural areas that.
What else are they gonna do?
Yeah, they can't get to them yet. Like, you're on the outskirts. Like, that's, you know, first responders, emergency and stuff like that, and cleaning crews and all that kind of stuff that deals with that starts from the city in and works their way out.
Right.
But that, like, I can't, if you get offended by words, you're not gonna
do well in the
you're not
military.
gonna do well with that stuff. I don't. And then now it has it's the atmosphere has completely changed. You know, there's way more PC culture in there, and there's also, we're just having a lot more issues. Hey, no, leave it. Yeah. So, update. My brother's coming to visit, which will be the second time he's coming to visit, right?
This will be his third time here. He's been here twice before.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't. It might be just. I think it's just the one time. This will be the second time he's been here.
Because we picked him up at the airport once.
Yeah.
But I thought that he's driven here once.
No.
This is his first time driving.
Yeah, it's his first time driving here, which I think it's super awesome because he doesn't do, like, huge trips like that. I think it's awesome that he's going to drive all the way halfway across the United States, you know, by himself, just to, you know, come visit. I think that's a great adventure to do. I think all people should do that. I think everybody should take, like, one super long road trip in their life. You know what I mean? See other states. Like, I want to travel all the time. Like, I've been all over the world, and I still want to keep going. Like, I still want to go see. Like, I want to go see Oregon, and I want to go see Montana, and Maine, and I want to see, like, Wyoming. I want to see all those places that I could go hunt elk at. Like, all the places that is possible to go hunt elk, I just want to go there and hang out. I just want to live there. I want to live where I can just hunt elk all the time.
I live in, like, Montana. Beautiful.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that's probably one of the prettiest states.
yeah. I'm so down for that. Like, I wish. That's been my dream since I was a child. Since I was a little kid. It's just, I want a cabin on a bunch of land out in the middle of nowhere and no reliance on anything. Like, off the grid cabin. Like, that's all I ever wanted. I mean, I would still like to have, of course, like, solar panel enough that I can, play video games or get on the internet and hang out and stuff like that. I mean, I don't want to live like a complete savage, but which I have no problem with living like a complete savage.
Yeah, but
But
I appreciate some modern amenities. I would like running water and a toilet that flushes.
right,
You know,
yeah,
even if it's a little bit different than what we're used to, those are kind of important to me.
yeah. And I just want to, when if I ever get to that stage in my life where I can just do that and just hunt the rest of my life, I'd just I'd be happy as shit. That'd be better if I had that. It'd be better than winning the lottery for me, like for sure. If I just had that, I was like, and I don't make any money, and I'm just good.
Winning the lottery would really help achieve that goal.
Exactly, 100%. I mean, I see where you're coming from.
Definitely
of course.
Be a good step in the right direction on
Right,
that one.
right. Yeah, living in Montana. But definitely do Montana, Wyoming, Oregon.
Colorado.
Colorado. Something.
Utah, even. Utah is
Yeah,
pretty.
I don't know. I just want to go somewhere where it's just a lot of fir trees and mountains. I mean, that's what I want. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Rivers that hardly ever see people on them. I don't know. I crave that, and that's what I'm looking forward to when I start working on and preparing for these big elk hunts. It's why I'm trying to plan these certain deer hunts this year to see if I can knock out something with a plan like that, small scale, close within, before I make the cross country leap to another state to go public land hunting at some point for elk. Because I mean, where we're at, we don't have elk, so I'll always have to go to another state to go elk hunting.
Right. You got to go where the elk are.
Right.
Them,
Exactly.
It's kind of they're kind of an important part of the equation. Yeah, no, I think most of the Midwest is very pretty.
Yeah. Like this year, I want to do that that bow hunt out of kayaks during deer season this year. Like, we've got a perfect plan where we just need to recon the river this year. That's all we need to do. We need to recon the river because it's a river that goes right in the middle of public land. We gotta see where we were up at when we were doing shed hunting. Where we were up at that river that was down there that we ran into. I've got to run that river down with kayaks and just see if it's feasible to even do. And I don't know how long the trip is. I know we have one out point, and it looks like it's a pretty far ways. And I'm hoping it's like I'd be down for a 6-hour float. I'd be down for something like that, especially with hunting. It's just small scale. It's what I want to do, just that before I plan a huge trip.
Are you just gonna do you just float down the river and look for deer and try and shoot them, or do you get out of your kayak and go look and stuff?
From the kayak.
It's really weird.
Why?
I don't know, it's just odd to me.
Why do you think that's weird?
Because, I mean, are there really going to be that many deer down there?
Yeah. Deer always go towards water. Yeah. And we're covering a vast amount of distance with hardly using any energy. It's not like we're walking the however many miles this creek is, you know what I mean? We're barely doing anything. Barely even paddling. So it's real efficient, and you can cover such a swath of distance. And you can do it silently, and they're not expecting anything to come down that.
Yes, true. And you could get Ted the groundhog.
Yeah, I shot Ted the groundhog in the head out of my kayak with my 45 because I was mad that I couldn't catch any fish. So I was going to be hungry that night, and I wanted to contribute and I wanted to eat something, and I saw an opportunity, and I seized the opportunity, and I ate. I ate. Wasn't the greatest of meals. Groundhog. I think if I'd have shot that groundhog a year ahead of when I got him, he'd have been tastier. But that groundhog was a little old, a little tough, and he was done on a spit. So,
yeah, I don't think it was that bad given the circumstances.
No.
It wasn't near as like gamey and weird as I thought it was gonna be.
yeah, eating groundhog. Yeah.
And surprisingly tasted like beef.
Yeah.
Beef taste and texture way more than like rabbit or squirrel or anything that you would think that it would be similar to.
Right. I mean, groundhogs don't eat gross stuff. I mean, they. It's not like they're like.
It's not like
trashy,
a raccoon or a possum that
yeah.
eats garbage
and stuff.
Yeah.
Like no, they're munching on green grass all the time, and
Yeah,
clovers
vegetation,
and stuff.
yeah.
Same thing that deer eating, groundhogs are eating. You know, they're just plowing through that stuff. So I don't see where groundhog wouldn't be tasty.
Yeah, I think they just get a bad name. It's like they live by roads and stuff.
What? Why do they have a bad name? Because they live by roads. We live by roads.
No, because we don't eat us. I mean, because you think that like they live by roads, so they're dirty because they taste like card sauce and stuff.
No, that's not how I picture groundhogs. That's not how you live too close in the city and seeing groundhogs in the city. Like when I grew up, groundhogs were a really rural thing. They are not an urban thing.
I did not grow up in a city.
I know,
grew
but
up in a rural area.
But you
also,
think like when you see
they're always on the sides of roads.
yeah, that's how you see. I always see them in huge fields, like massive farm fields. Like I don't ever
dogging on the side of a road all the time.
Yeah, I mean you catch those, but I never. That's not. When I look at that, I'm like, that groundhog's kind of out of place.
Well, I mean, it's the same kind of weirdness and mentality of, like, people think that, like, eating pigeon is real gross or, like, nasty. But, like, people in other countries eat pigeon all the time. Like, the people here are like, oh, they're rats with wings.
Oh, yeah.
They're gross. They're dirty. You don't eat those. They're dirty birds.
Well, they just name them. They just name them a different name, like squab, and then people eat them.
It's fancy.
Then it's fancy.
So they say you go to like a fancy French restaurant in the States and they serve you squab and people don't realize that you're eating a fucking pigeon. Like,
yeah. But what's the difference between them and eating doves? Like I love eating doves. Doves are delicious.
There is no difference. That's what I mean. Is
or
I don't
pheasant,
understand
or
like
turkey.
the stigma that gets put to some animals,
Yeah.
but not others that are like exactly the same as them.
Like I've heard. What's that saying when you eat crow or whatever? You're gonna eat crow, so it always has a negative.
Well, it's like
negative
you
connotation
have to
to
like
it.
kiss up and make up because you were wrong and they were right. So you need to eat crow.
So why is it? I mean, I've never eaten crow, but I would eat it. Like if I just had to breast meat a crow, I'd eat it.
I think that crows are considered like a dirty bird because they're like in the scavenger family and they'll scavenge like roadkill and stuff like that. So they have like potential dangers to them.
I guess you're right because I wouldn't eat a turkey vulture.
Right, or like a buzzard or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like a turkey vulture, the buzzard, same exact thing. There's no way I would, like, I would have to be super starving, dying, desperate for me to
and that
hang out on a roadkill somewhere and wait for a turkey vulture to eat as much as it can and it can't move. Catch it, kill it, and then eat it. Like he's been eating roadkill all his life.
Yeah, and that shit's gonna get cooked to a crisp, like cooked, way fucking cooked.
Nope, you go rare.
I don't fucking
rare turkey vulture.
Yeah. Rare.
How do you like your
is
turkey
so
vulture? I'll have mine rare. Actually, put it in the microwave. 30 seconds. Put it on my plate. I want it blue rare. Right? You cook turkey vulture in the microwave, right?
Yeah.
That's the preferred method. I mean, if you're going gross, you might as well go gross.
Yeah.
Somehow, eating lean turkey vulture, if I cooked it over a fire or on a grill, sounds more appetizing than if I just microwaved it until it was cooked.
Obviously, I mean, even like your best cut of steak sounds way more delicious cooked on a grill than it does being microwaved to completion.
What was the thing on Always Sunny in Philadelphia where he's talking about microwave and a steak?
Milk
Or,
steak.
well, you said something about milk steak. I remember that, but I thought it was something else. There was like, you throw that steak in the microwave and slather it in ketchup or something just disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember what it was.
Exactly. Yeah, lots about milk steak though. It's Charlie's favorite.
When we were in Kansas, when we went out to Colorado, everywhere we were at in Colorado and Kansas, every single time we were outside of the vehicle, like, you always feel hard wind. Like, it's always blowing on you.
Out there.
Yeah, it's always blowing. You always get a good amount of wind. And it was weird because we went from a very rural area in Kansas to a more of a city in a city apartments type of place, and we were getting out of the car and we had walked in and you had to walk through all these concrete buildings to get to his apartment, you know what I mean? It's like one of those, all these little sidewalks in between everybody's houses and stuff like that. And I actually noticed that I wasn't feeling the wind anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, I was like, I got so attuned to feeling the wind constantly in the couple days that I was just out in a place like that. Like here, because we were just talking about, it's like it would be really nice to have a breeze come down through here. It's nice and it's cool out, but it could definitely use a breeze.
Oh, way better than it was earlier for sure. But
Right.
Yeah, a little air
Yeah,
movement.
we caught.
would be great.
Yeah, when we caught in that sun, it started beaming down. We were burning up. I was sweating.
It is just, I mean, I feel like usually when you're outside, there's just some level of air movement generally, like
Yeah.
most of the time. So it's always odd to me when it's this still. It's very, very still out. I mean, if you look like there's not even like the leaves really moving.
Right. Right.
It's very frozen because the
But-
air is so heavy and sedentary.
But if you stop and you listen real hard, you can hear wind blowing somewhere because it's getting into. You can hear it blow through the trees.
Yeah.
But you never feel it. Like it's like an illusion.
Is that the, yeah, I had a bug attack my
Yeah, I
face.
saw it.
Is that the wind, do you think, or is that cars from the road out there?
No, like this sound. Listen,
Well, yeah, that, and I mean,
That's what I'm talking about.
See it.
you can see it. Like we can see all that, right? We can see and we can hear all of that, but we can't feel it at all.
Well, because it doesn't cut down into this valley
Right.
unless it's like
It's like an
really
illusion. It's an
whipping,
illusion
or
that
if
we're
it-
getting wind. You're like you're constantly expecting to feel a breeze off of what you're hearing. Like, oh,
Yeah.
here comes the breeze, and then
But then
nothing.
down here, it's still so still and,
Yeah.
and stagnant. Yeah.
Like
Odd.
I like feeling wind. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm used to being in thick woods, and
I like weather.
everybody complains about the weather, but nobody does anything about it.
Oh.
My favorite quote
I
ever.
know, I
My
know
favorite
it
quote
is.
ever.
I've probably heard it 737,000 times.
It's the greatest quote ever.
So I like weather in general. I like the seasons. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily love being freezing ass cold or getting rained on a whole bunch, but
I don't think I could
I
do
don't
Florida
hate it.
weather,
like just
California
hot all
weather.
the time.
Like, I don't think I could do that for an entire year of just having 80-degree weather, like the entire year. Like,
Yeah, just hot and humid 24/7.
couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I would much rather have more cold than I would have more summer. Don't get me wrong. Like now, like I do enjoy when we get into the warmer seasons, and especially with getting into bow hunting. I can see how the season's early, you know, so it's actually warmer out, and you don't have to like suffer,
Yeah,
even
not
though you're
quite as
making
much.
Well, I mean, for my climate, I mean, I know there's other states that they don't have that luxury, but the other thing I would worry about is it too warm to be and how much of a hassle it's going to be to get meat out when it's if it's 70 degrees out while I'm bow hunting.
Right.
You know, I really worry about that. That's why I prefer cold weather more,
Well, and it puts
because
you on...
with the cold weather, I can take all the time I want cutting that meat out,
Yep.
right? Hang it, and let it air cool out, and it'll just cool itself down. I'll have no problem. I don't have any bugs or insects or anything like that on it in the cold weather.
And it's not going to spoil.
And it's not going to spoil.
Yeah, that's what I was
and I
going
can
to say.
take my time.
Hunting in warm weather puts you on way more of
Yeah.
like a time restraint for dealing
Yeah.
with your meat and everything.
Like I immediately got to just work fast and quick, and then
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely not like I said, you know, Montana, somewhere like that, where like, yeah, it favors more of a cold climate, but they still have all four seasons, you know?
Yeah.
They still have a summer and a spring and a fall. It's not just winter all the time or summer all the time.
yeah.
I wouldn't want to live anywhere that like you didn't get at least a little bit of all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like seasons.
Yeah.
I prefer winter over summer.
Yeah, you're weird.
Yeah, I prefer winter over summer, but I still like when summer comes up eventually, because I can do stuff like fishing and kayak fishing and do all those kinds of fun summer activities I don't have to worry about. Now, I've gone kayaking when it was super cold out. There was ice on the creeks and stuff like that, but
The last time we went, it was very cold. It was still early spring.
yeah, I wanted to get out. I was having cabin fever so bad.
That was a rough flip of the kayak.
Yeah, you flipped.
I always do.
Yeah, you always flip kayaks when we go kayaking. Like
It's my signature of the trip.
given, right?
But yeah, that was a rough one. It was very cold. It was very, very cold. That time and the time that me, you, and Alex went. Was that the same
Same
trip?
time.
That early spring
Same trip.
yeah. Oh yeah, because I hit my head.
Yeah, bumped your head on that branch and went over, and then yeah, it was so stupid.
Good times.
I say your kayak went all the way under and drowned. Like I had to. I was
I
in
know,
my
it's
kayak
terrible.
holding. I had just reached down. I reached down into the water and got a hold of your rope that's tied on your kayak, and it was completely under the water. While the creek is still moving. We were still moving pretty good.
It was, yeah, it was a
And
pretty
I was holding
strong
on to,
point.
I was holding on to this thing and trying not to let it go, and keep myself afloat, and hold my kayak paddle to get myself over towards the bank. So I'm trying to. Alex is running down the bank right in perpendicular, and I'm trying to move it over to him, just so he can grab a hold of my kayak or get a hold of this or something, so that I can break away and get myself back into where you guys are. Oh, it was an adventure. It was an
Yeah.
absolute adventure. It was
Certainly was, and that's why you tie all your shit to your kayak. I didn't lose anything.
yeah.
None
You
of
didn't
my
lose
stuff.
anything for sure, but it was completely. And your kayak was one of the ones that didn't have the drain hole in it. That made me so mad. So that we had to.
There's a lot about the kayak that I have
Yeah.
that I don't like,
Yeah.
and it's too big. I don't like the 12-footers.
Yeah, but for the trips that we go on, we need 12-footers.
I don't think that that's true.
I think it is.
I did just fine with the 6-footer of Chris's that I used forever until I got that one. I mean, it worked perfectly fine for me forever.
Yeah, but that was when we were doing 100% warm weather, barely need to take anything type of.
I mean, even still though, I could fit my like giant ass waterproof bag on a 6-foot kayak if I needed to. Strap it to the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I look forward to. I want to do some of those this year for sure.
Yeah.
I think what's going to end up happening if we don't link up with some of the guys, from YouTube, if that doesn't happen, I'm going to have to either do it myself or it's going to be me and you, babe. You know what I mean? To recon that river. I got to recon that river because I'm going to do that this year. I'm going to. Well, I really want to do that. If the river becomes not feasible to do that on, like if I go down it and like fuck no, I can't pack out a deer on these kinds of shits, or if there's places where I have to like drag my yak around to get past like little waterfalls or something like that, like no, I don't think unless it's a super warm weather day and we expect that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to. I gotta see, and I don't know until I get on the creek and I just start heading down. I don't.
The
Can't tell 'em.
Opequon doesn't run through anywhere that's public land.
No.
Everywhere is privately owned land through their
Yeah.
farms and stuff.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if there were rivers that like we have already run that like you're familiar with that run through any level.
No. Nope. Everything else was just. I mean, the rivers themselves is public, but
Well, yeah.
but you also can't shoot a deer if they're in water. Like,
Right.
if they're standing in water, you can't shoot them there. So if they're on the shores or on the banks or whatever, down through the Opequon, it's on somebody's land. Somebody's owned it. Somebody owns it for sure. But we just got lucky that there's a creek that's enough creek.
Leave it.
Stay. Good job. Good job. Good
Oh,
girl.
that's a good girl.
Good girl. No, leave it. We just got lucky that there's a creek that's big enough to float a kayak down, at least from what I've seen,
Yeah.
the small parts of it that I've seen, and it be on public hunting land.
Mhm.
So we get our tags and we're all good to go, and we float however many miles it is. I have no idea how long it's going to take, and I don't know until I get on there, and I really need to do that. There's no way I'm going to get. I would not go down it like with all supplies ready to go bow hunting first time ever.
Well,
Never seen it
that's
before. You know what I
dumb.
mean? That'd
Yeah,
be
that's
so.
really dumb.
You know, I want to get familiar with it and see what I'm expecting.
Yeah, it's not like being on foot where you can kind of improvise a little bit.
Right.
Like, yeah, I mean, you can improvise, but it's way more inconvenient when you're hauling a loaded kayak with you.
Yeah.
Like, when you've got to get it up out of the water, over things, under stuff, down waterfalls, over fallen trees, up out of where it's too shallow, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that's way too much of a hassle. And what if you get down there and you get an hour in and the river's dried up way too much the whole rest of the way,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you've got to walk the whole rest of it?
Yeah, I got to drag the entire time, and
Yeah, no, you definitely.
especially, and I need to get a chance to. I need to get a chance to take my kayak, put it on the water, and take my bow and see if it's feasible to even draw my bow and see how I need to sit, balance myself, and get used to seeing if I can hold my bow where I need to do that. I don't even know. I mean, because it's a kayak, so it's. I mean, it's pretty stable. I think it's more stable than a canoe.
Yeah, by like a million.
But you can hold your oar way out like this, and it's going to dip you weird. So I don't know how it's going to be if I have my bow, and I'm going to have to either like lean back so I can counterbalance
Right.
sticking out, and like I just have to figure that stuff out. And that's you have to train on it because I'm not going to just attempt it the first day I'm going down.
Well, not if you want to be successful.
Right.
That's not a smart way.
I mean, even if I get on that and I find out that there's no possible way that I can shoot this bow out of my kayak, then that just means I can't kayak bow hunting.
Right. Right. You just
Right.
change plans.
Get a flat bottom boat, then I can bow hunt all day.
Go bow fishing.
I've always wanted to go
Oh
bow
my gosh,
fishing.
that's so stupid.
I would love to go bow fishing.
It's so dumb.
Especially if we're going to eat everything we catch. I would love to go bow fishing. Why? Why do you think it's dumb?
I don't know. It just seems unnecessary. Like, I feel like it takes like the skill out of fishing and the difficulty out of fishing.
They do that with non-invasive or invasive species like
right,
carp
so
and
they
stuff
have
like that.
like a more
Like there's a reason why they're not. Like they're taking carp and alligator gar and stuff like that, and it
Right.
takes skill to put that arrow there
no,
to get
I
a
don't,
fish.
I don't debate that. I
Plus,
just think
these are fish that do not. A lot of them won't bite on you fishing.
yeah,
Like they
regular
won't.
bait. Yeah, they're too smart. But no, I mean, I understand that there's like a bigger purpose behind it.
It's just more
For that,
efficient.
but-
It's a more efficient. Like they
Yeah.
eat them all.
I just think it takes like the leisure and fun out of like what's supposed to be fishing. You know, it's supposed to be like a leisurely, like relaxing, cast your pole, drink your beer.
Well,
You know, real
that
relaxed.
okay,
And
but
then
that's
when you
only for
think-
certain type of fish.
But when you think of like bow fishing, it's like heavy metal music in the background, really like intense, like everybody's running around yelling the whole time, and it's like that doesn't seem like so much fun.
Right. I get what you're saying, but think about. I remember seeing like marlin fishermen growing up on TV, and they were like the rock and roll rock stars, and it's just all this action packed of like rods bending all over this. Dudes just bro, just sword fishing
Well, but
each
it's
other
still,
off.
I mean,
You know?
it's still the same effect though. It's like, yeah, you have those moments of intensity when like something exciting is happening, but like for the majority of it, it is like a patience sort of game, like a cast and wait sort of thing. And then yeah, you have like your special moments of like
See,
excitement.
your
when you get
version,
fish and
your
everything.
version of what you think fishing is sounds like some type of Werther's Original commercial with hanging out with Pap, getting the worms on the hook
It's
for
the
you.
Griffith show, the Andy Griffith show.
The
okay?
Andy Griffith. Well, that's a perfect
Yeah.
example. Yeah, going out with old Obie, going cane pole fishing.
Yes, yeah.
That's not
That is the spirit of fishing.
the spirit of fishing.
Yes.
The spirit of fishing is the hanging out with Pap, sucking on a Werther's Original,
Yes. Just relaxing.
worms in a coffee can.
Having a
That's fishing.
Budweiser. Yeah.
That's okay. That was like that until that. Okay, all right. Fishing was like that for a little while. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna just completely shit on that when there is some truth behind it. That is true. But then they invented spinner baits, and when spinner baits got invented, people started like having an action that they were constantly doing, setting hooks, having to do stuff like that. Not watching the bobber, sitting around, eating a moon pie and drinking an RC
Don't you miss
cola
the good old days?
with a picnic basket and a picnic basket with those red and white. Like even in Andy Griffith show, it was a black and white show when it was good. When it went to color and went to shit. You can back me up on that. Fact. But they had you could tell, even on the black and white, that was definitely a red
white,
and
checkers.
white
Yeah, for
checkered.
Sure. Well, it's the only colors it came in.
Yeah.
Like, don't act like you had it in
Picnic
any
towel.
other colors.
Yeah, picnic towel.
Well, I mean,
but
they didn't even invent colors until like the late 40s and 50s.
they didn't even invent colors. Weren't even invented
No.
until then.
Yeah.
Until the 40s to 50s.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying right now. That's. I hope that turns into the new. I hope that's the new flat Earth thing. Colors weren't even invented.
Colors are an illusion.
Show me where there was colors
Yeah.
before the 1940s.
Yeah. Show me a
Prove it.
picture of
Yeah.
colors before that.
Yeah, prove it. I got to see that there were colors.
Show
back
me a
then.
picture of colors from then. Oh, you can't? Yeah, it's because there weren't any.
Yeah, there weren't any colors yet at all. in
They
the world.
weren't invented.
That sounds like a Calvin and Hobbes dad joke. That's what that sounds like. Sounds like something he would say.
Dad jokes are the best jokes.
Well, it's one of my favorite. Growing up for me, we always read Calvin and Hobbes books. It was super important, and it was a great escape. It was a good read to see. To be able to read something and remember when you used to have an imagination like that, that you just don't have anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we were growing up, and we had a lot of
kid
Calvin and
mind,
Hobbes. Yeah. You don't have your kid mind anymore. Read a bunch of Calvin and Hobbes. One of my favorite ones was he's with his dad and mom in a car or somewhere, and Calvin asks his dad, how do they test the weight limit for the bridges that we're driving over? And his dad tells him some shit like, what they do is they drive bigger and bigger trucks over it until it collapses, and they know the weight of that truck, and then they just rebuild it, and they set it at that weight limit, nothing over that. So that's how they do that. And like Calvin believed him. Like he's like, oh, well, that makes sense,
it
you
makes
know.
perfect sense.
And I think his wife says something like, if you don't know, just tell him you don't know, you know, or something like that.
You can't just say I don't know.
Yeah, you can't. I don't know. It was just a funny. We had the whole collection.
Yes.
We have the whole collection. I'd love to. I'd be down for rereading them at some point. Like right now, I'm on. What am I on? It's Lovejoy's book. It's um, and something Howard, inventor of Conan. He wrote the Conan stories and the movies.
It's not King Solomon.
No, it's no. I'm talking about the writer who did
Oh,
this. Howard
I couldn't
something
tell
R
you.
something Howard.
No idea.
I can't remember. He did Solomon Kane. He does. Damn it! I can't think of it. Oh, R.L. Not R.L. Howard. Howard.
You're thinking of R.L. Stein.
Yeah, I'm thinking of R.L. Stein, which is not the one
No.
that I'm talking about. But
Definitely not. Leave it. Leave it, Brooke.
yeah, I don't know. Badass fantasy type of books, and
Well, he wrote
I want to finish
Conan
those
the
off, for
Barbarian,
sure.
right?
What?
He wrote the Barbarian.
Conan the
right?
Barbarian, yeah. Yeah, Howard something. I can't believe I can't remember. But they were Lovejoy's books, and I got them in a whole collection of them. Solomon, because I read Solomon Kane when we were in Haiti.
Yeah.
And we had nothing to do, and like we didn't have DVD players or anything like that. We were just sitting around not doing anything, just sweating our balls off.
Have
like-
a blasty blast.
Like, yeah.
Time of your life.
Yeah, time of my life. I was reading Solomon Kane, and I thought it was awesome. Because it was just it wasn't like a plot from one starts here and when the book finishes, it finishes. It's all a whole bunch of stories in there. Like, this is just a story, has no connection with this thing, and doesn't even fill you in where we're at now. And you'll find out, like, oh, you went from the story ended here, and it kind of left on a cliffhanger about, oh, they were in the desert dealing with the Arabian tribes or something like that. And then the next one's like he's just in Africa hunting down like Zulus or something like that. You know, it was cool that you just knew that you were going on to a different little story. It was great.
Yeah.
It was just a big book of short stories, and I love that. I love that form because I tend to
Frank, you lose interest in books pretty quickly.
yes, and they make me sleepy. Like, they legitimately make me sleepy. Like, every time I read a book, I get super sleepy. Even if I'm like well rested, having a great day, I had a Red Bull and I'm gonna start in on this book. I get about 15, 20 pages in, and I'm like, I'm just gonna lay it down here next to me with my thumb in it, get like 15 minutes. It makes me so sleepy. But what I end up seeing when I'm reading is I'm missing, like, I'll be like, okay, I don't remember how I got here. Like, my reading comprehension turns off for like 3 paragraphs, and you're like,
Yeah.
wait, I don't even know what's going on right now. And the reason why I don't know what's going on is because I'm paying attention to something else around me outside of reading the book. I'm just going through words.
Stop actually focusing.
Yeah, so I stopped focusing, taking in, and traveling the story. I've gotten better at it, and I think it's why I started reading those fantasy books, because I'm letting myself not pay attention to stuff and let this book take me on like some type of setting or journey in my head.
Become a little
Like,
more
I'm
immersed in it.
Immersed in it, and trying to picture the scenery and the landscape and what they're dealing with through what the author is describing. You know what I mean? And it's making me enjoy books more.
Yeah.
I think, but I still sometimes I find myself just okay. I don't remember how I got here or where I was at. I'm gonna and I'll do that. I'll back up 3 paragraphs
Yeah,
and I'll
I mean, you
reread
should,
it
yeah.
and then do it again. That's how I've been trying to get myself over it.
Yeah. One of the biggest things too with that is just slow down in your reading. Like, just slow down, you know?
Yeah, and that's my problem too. Like, I want to finish.
Yeah, like,
I want to finish.
You know, if you know that your reading comprehension lacks a little bit, then, you know, slow your reading pace down a little bit. You know, reading super fast doesn't matter squat shit if you're not, like, comprehending and taking in the words that you're reading that fast, you know?
Right.
So that's always a big thing too, like, just to kind of try and remind yourself to slow down a little bit as you go through and actually, like, register each word that you're reading, and instead of just, like, trying to get to the end of the sentence.
Right. Like, I always try to, and I get competitive when I'm reading through. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to all the way to this spot. This is a good spot. Like, there's like a big space in the paragraph or something. You know, starting like another chapter. I'm like, that's a perfect time to, and I'll find myself just trying to get to that end point and not paying attention to how I got there.
You're only focusing on the destination, man.
Yeah.
Not the journey.
Not the journey, man.
Not the journey, man. The destination's just wherever the journey takes you, man.
Oh, Wilbies. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, folks. Hope you enjoy these.